Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean got into a football game last week. And I gotta be real, man. It's gonna be really hard to remove him from the rotation now because, boy, that was a heck of a debut. Let's talk for a little bit, everybody. What's up, Cerebral football fans? My name is Steven Hyder. This is Gate City Sports Channel. Hey, if you're new to the channel, it's maybe the first, second, third time you caught my content and you enjoyed today's discussion. Look, we're on a journey, we're on a path. We just crossed over 6,800 subscribers. We're heading towards 7,500 subscribers. I would love for you to be a part of that equation and join the Cerebral football communities, as we call ourselves, the Cerebral Lights. But I need you to hit that subscribe button to do that. To my OG subscribers, hat in hand, here to ask you that favor, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, smash the like button, help me spike this algorithm. Gets us in front of new people that we can potentially convert into our little audience here on the YouTube. Hey guys, real quick, I'm sorry if the sound is a little off. It's probably a little echoey in this room. This is the new studio room. My wife is kind of gifting me this for Christmas. I put fresh paint on the wall, but I got to hang sound paneling up. There's still a lot to go on. You guys can see some of the construction items behind me. So just bear with me for a couple of weeks, guys. I promise you sometime in January this will all be evened out. All right, y'all. Nakobe Dean. I want to start off by saying, man, that we had a really good performance from all three of our linebackers last week. And we had two of our guys finish in the top 10 in terms of grading. You had TJ Edwards, who was basically in the top 3. And then you had Kaiser White, who finished in the top 10. And then we finally get to see an extended sample size, an extended view from the rookie. The player I think the majority of us were the most excited to finally see get in a game. And he did not disappoint once he got into the game. I think a lot of us speculated that, hey, you know, maybe he's got to catch a little bit up to the speed of the game. Maybe he's got to catch up to some of the, you know, specifics about playing with certain leverage and certain techniques within the system. But once he gets there, boy, is he going to get there. And this is where, like, it got a little, you know, I came in late to the pregame show with Mike, you know, Philly Mike, and then with Reese, Philly Fresh. So I came in late, and, like, Mike hit me almost right off the bat with the question where he was like, Steve, do you think Nakobe Dean's going to play this week? And I said, I hate to be the naysayer, but probably not.
Linebacker, what is your take on that? Do you think we get to see some more linebacker packages? You get to see some Nakobe Dean today?
I doubt it. I doubt it. Man, I hate to be the naysayer, Mike, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I mean, at this point, it's kind of like he should have already been involved in a rotation. I feel like with the depth you have at the defensive line, it doesn't seem likely that you're going to see a really huge rotation from like a 4-2-5 or a 52 front. You're probably going to see a lot of 5-1 mixed in with some 4-2 on occasion. I mean, look, I would love to see the kid at least get in and get 5-10 snaps a game. I mean, see where he's at, see where the development stands. Let's see how the defense responds to that. But I look, what I prefer and what they'll probably do, probably completely different thing.
This is why I hate doing these things without being prepared, man. I was running. I just got off the road. I should have qualified that statement to say, unless there's injury. I don't think they're just going to play him in terms of a rotation, but if there's injury, yeah, he's probably going to get in there. He's probably the next guy up off the bench. With that said, now we're in this interesting question afterwards, the after effect of it all. Now that he has, you know, made his way into the football game, now that they see that, hey, man, this young man can play the run, and by the way, he was pretty fluid in his dropbacks for the pass. Like, I mean, I didn't see anything on the film that made me go, this is a liability. From what I saw was a young man that seemed to have a pretty bright future, even in pass defense. I think it's difficult now to not allow this young man to be part of a rotation. Like, there was no need for it early on in the season. Like, Kaiser White, TJ Edwards were playing really, really good football from the linebacker position. There were some times I thought for, you know, run defense purposes, we probably could have gone to a 3 linebacker set or just rotated Nakobe Dean in with Kaiser White and with TJ Edwards from time to time to give those guys a chance to get their feet under them. We were getting kind of taken advantage of in the run game. With that said, Jonathan Gannon made a slight adjustment versus Tennessee because he just did not respect their ability to beat us over the top. He walks his safeties down a little bit. He walks his corners down a little bit. He has his linebackers just saying flow and go to the football. He brings everything tight. And what happens? We had one of our better performances on the season. I mean, our run defense didn't just look good. It looked straight up dominant. And I know that the rap is like, hey, man, you got to pump the brakes a little bit. You got to understand that Derrick Henry is a guy that if he gets to your second level, he's a nightmare. But if you can get him in the backfield and you can stop his progression, his momentum before he gets going, he's not a very effective runner. And I totally get that. With that said, the linebackers were shooting gaps. The linebackers looked physical. They looked tough. They looked like they were the team that wanted to prove it. And by the way, now's a good time to do that. Because we just came off a game with Indianapolis with Jonathan Taylor, who's a spectacular running back. Green Bay's got a couple of backs, and they got one of their backs is another, Derrick Henry type big physical guy. Then we faced off with Derrick Henry. Now we got, Saquon Barkley followed up with Zeke in just a couple of weeks. So, this is a good time for this run defense with a young guy in Nakobe Dean starting to get into the rotation to kind of start showing it. To start proving it to us that, hey, man, you can trust us. If these defensive tackles can allow us to scrape over the top, if they can keep us clean, we're going to make impactful plays for this defense. We are going to put teams behind the sticks. Because make no mistakes about it. Even when teams were kind of gashing us, when you looked at the rate at which we were being gashed in the running game, it wasn't that high. What was more detrimental is when you start getting +3 in the running game on first down. You start getting 3 or more yards in the running game consistently on first down, it starts to create these very favorable third down, situations, and it burned us. Like, we knew that we had a couple of weeks there, 2-3 weeks span of time, to where our third down defense was a little shaky, and it ultimately cost us a game, to be honest, along with some offensive mistakes, guys putting the ball on the ground and stuff. But I mean, we could see that we signed a couple of veterans. We're getting a couple guys back, and Avonte Maddox coming back is another big addition to this team. You start playing some of the younger guys. I mean, look at Reed Blankenship out there making plays from the safety position, right? Nakobe Dean starts to insert himself. So now we got this mix of veteran free agents that we brought in, whether that was during the offseason, such, guys like Kaiser White and James Bradbury and all those type of guys, right? C.J. Gardner-Johnson, to the dudes that we added just a couple of weeks ago, and we see these guys starting to flash now, right? Linval Joseph and Dominican, so I shouldn't say starting to flash. They flashed from week 1. So, the first week that they were inserted into our defense, I should say. Mixed in with the rookies now. Now you got the Reed Blankenships. Now you got the Nakobe Deans. You got these guys that are kind of coming in to play these little roles they're starting to step up, man, and they're making impactful plays, which I think is the biggest part of the discussion is that it's solid. It's just we're getting solid contributions across the board at multiple spots on the defense for multiple guys. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and make a huge deal about it, but even guys like Zach McPherson, he hasn't been great. I mean, there's a big difference between James Bradbury and Darius Slay to a guy like Zach McPherson. But when he's been called upon, he's done the job, right? Josiah Scott, I'm going to stand by what I said, guys. He's a very, very good short zone player. He can play around the line of scrimmage, and he's got good eyes. He'll take the football away. When I'm talking about the short zone, guys, we're talking about inside of 10 yards. He's good at that. I mean, Josiah Scott has some merit to his game. But when he's matched up in a zone concept where he's got to carry with his guy down the field, even though Josiah Scott's not a slow guy, I mean, he's a fairly fast nickel corner, man, he's got a tendency to be put in that trail technique. And, Treylon Burks got him for a touchdown in that game, as an example of that. So, I mean, even those guys, those guys like Zach McPherson and Josiah Scott, they've come in, they've played big times. Like, Kayvon Wallace had a big-time pass break a week or so ago. So, I mean, he's come up, and started playing a little bit, right? We brought Christian Ellis up from the practice squad, inserted him onto, the special teams core unit, and he came out and made some, pretty impactful plays on the special teams unit. It's when things like this start to click. What can you say other than, everything is clicking, everything is firing the way you want it to fire? I'm really interested to see what they do with Nakobe Dean going forward. How do they play this thing with Nakobe Dean? Because I feel like, the cat's out of the bag now. Now it's kind of like, you kind of let the cat out of the bag. Now you're going to have to find a way of implementing this young man. Like, it's there. We all saw it. I got a feeling that he's going to be part of the rotation now, Going back to the question Mike asked us, and we answered for him, now I feel like now the cat's out of the bag. He's going to be part of a rotation. Now, how many snaps in that rotation? Yet to be determined. But things look good, man, when you're getting contributions from young guys, especially when you have big looming decisions in the offseason. Good problem to have, right? Good problem to have, contributors. All right, y'all, I appreciate y'all's time and attention. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Hey, man, the young man got in there and made some plays. Good to see, right? All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out of here. See y'all in the next video.